What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Draymond Green Show YouTube channel. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you like the post that you love. But you can get everything the Draymond Green Show right on our YouTube channel. So make sure you subscribe. Check that out. Thank you. The New York Knicks. The New York Knicks get Bojan Bogdanovic. That is Bojan Bogdanovic from the Detroit Pistons. And Alec Burks for Evan Fournier, Malachi Flynn, and Quentin Grimes. Malachi Flynn don't see the court. Evan Fournier hasn't seen the court since they signed him to that contract. And Grimes is in and out of lineup. They made out extremely well. So now you look at these trades. They got Bojan Bogdanovic and Alec Burks and OG Anunoby without giving up a single first-round pick. That's insane. The New York Knicks got better. Does that ultimately put them in the conference finals? Like, Steven, they've been talking. I see a lot of people like, oh, they're going to the finals. They got better. But I don't know if I want to get that far ahead of myself just yet. I need to see more. You also, like, the playoffs is different, man. Like, the playoffs, and they've struggled in the playoffs some. Like, Jalen Brunson bought it last year. Julius Randle's had a tough couple playoffs the last 2 years. So the key to them getting to the NBA finals is, or to the conference finals, I'm not even going to get ahead of myself, say NBA finals. Let's just go conference finals. Julius Randle is going to have to play well. Julius Randle can't have tough playoff series and that team win. It just won't happen. And so Ju play well, and it opens up things for them. And like I said, Ju's last couple playoff runs haven't been great. So they're going to need Ju to be Ju, the Ju that is in the regular season causing havoc, all-NBA performer, all-star performer, the max player that the New York Knicks paid. They're going to need him to be that same guy in the playoffs in order for them to take that next step. Overall, I think the New York Knicks definitely got better. They 100% got better, and we'll see where that leads them, but they got depth, they got size, they got shooting, they got playmaking, and it's going to be a logjam. So it's also going to be interesting to see who gets those minutes. You know, they still got Josh Hart, they still got Dante, Jalen, you know, they still got quite a few. So it's going to be a bit of a logjam. We'll see how the minutes play out. And as we know, Tom Thibodeau play his starters 35-plus minutes a game. So it'll be interesting, like, to see how Tibbs navigate his coaching style, where he plays his starters so many minutes a game, and now you got the type of depth that they've built up. That's going to be interesting. All of a sudden, you get those guys have never won anything. So when you start talking about, like, hey, you need to sacrifice for us to win, they don't know what that looked like. They did not know what that looked like. So that can cause chemistry issues. And so it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. But overall, on paper, I think they 100% got better. I don't think anybody would disagree with that. The Oklahoma City Thunder also got better. They traded for Gordon Hayward for Trey Mann, who I think, by the way, I think Trey Mann got game. I think Trey Mann has a chance in this league, but unfortunately got caught in a logjam in OKC where they're drafting 3 first-round picks per year, and you get 1 year to kind of show what you got, and then they're looking at the next first-round pick the next year. And he just got caught in that logjam, but anytime he played, you were able to see, or he go down to the G League, you're able to see the skills that the young guy has. And then also he's been studying under Shea. And Shea is one that has had to improve each and every year to become who he's become. And he's gotten a chance to get a front row seat and watching that. And it seemed like Shea took him under this wing and took a liking to him. So I know he's been teaching them a lot. Looking forward to seeing what Trey Mann go to Charlotte and do. And so we'll see how that plays out. They also got Davis Bertans in the trade. Charlotte Hornets for Gordon Hayward. Davis Bertans hasn't seen the court since he signed that deal. And yet the Hornets were able to pull that off. The Hornets also has a slew of picks, and if I'm not mistaken, I think they sent over a first-round pick for Gordon Hayward, maybe a second-round pick, but they got a slew of picks. The Charlotte Hornets stayed active at the trade deadline and traded away P.J. Washington for Grant Williams, Seth Curry, and a 2027 first-round pick. Now, to get Grant Williams and Seth Curry for P.J. Washington, I already personally think is enough. You get a first-round pick, and that means they hated Grant Williams in Dallas. If you are able to get a first-round pick with that swap, they was really trying to get off Grant Williams. Like, they had to get him out the door. And that's the word around the league, is that people saying he rubbed a lot of people the wrong way and they didn't love it. Quite frankly, I think I saw something that said he start back wearing Jason Tatum's and not Luka's. People would nitpick at anything. I don't know if that's a reason he got traded, but Grant got into a lot of stuff this year so far with people. He had a thing with Book. He had a thing with Donovan Mitchell, I think. He had a thing with Grant's, I can't even keep up with the amount of people that Grant Williams has gotten into it this year. So I'm not sure. I'm not in Dallas's locker room. I can't tell you all the things that went wrong. But what I will say is I don't think they got the Grant Williams they thought they were bringing in. Just even by seeing him get into it with like all of these different people, like it's just not really something that you've ever seen from Grant Williams. And so, I think that's a tough one. Like, you sign a 4-year deal. What he signed, 4 years, $50 million deal. You think, oh man, I'm one of the missing pieces in what they see, and then it ends that abruptly. Grant got to figure it out. Whatever it is that he did wrong, he need to figure it out fast, because at a $12.5 million salary, you all should understand how this league works. That deal is just enough money to make a lot of trades work. You can either be a throw-in in a trade to make the money work. You can be a guy that gets moved to bring another good player in because it makes money work. But yeah, it's only, and when I say only, I have a concept of money. I'm not like someone that has made good money and lost reality of like how much money $12.5 million is. But $12.5 million in the grand scheme of the NBA salary cap, it's not a lot of money. And so teams will take that salary like no problem. Like, yeah, we'll take that. And before you know it, Grant Williams can be traded 3 times in the next year and a half. All of a sudden he gets moved at the end of this year because Charlotte decide they're going in a different direction. And then you go to a team and you get moved at that deadline because they wanted to make something else happen and you were the money to throw in to make it work. And so that's what Grant Williams has to figure out and be careful of, because that's what starts happening in this league. A guy get moved once from a team that signed him to a deal, and then you just all of a sudden you look up and that guy's on a bunch of different teams. And so it'll be interesting to watch Grant Williams' path. I know he's a very smart dude. It'll be interesting to watch his path and see if he can get it figured out. I think that's also a lesson to like young guys in this league, though. Where there's smoke, there's fire, by the way. So in all the news coming out that he rubbed people the wrong way in Dallas and all that, he did, because they're not just trading you that fast. Where there's smoke, there's fire. I don't know anything specific. I'm not an NBA insider. I'm not about to go try to dig up dirt. That's not what you're getting here. This is the new media. But what I will tell you is where there's, like I said, where there's smoke, there's fire. And for Grant Williams, or just young guys in general, understanding your role in this league is extremely important. Understand why you get what you get in this league is extremely important. when you're playing with a guy like a Jason Tatum, with a guy like Jaylen Brown on a team, Marcus Smart on a team that's going to the NBA Finals, and your role is as such, don't get so ahead of yourself that you don't realize the ingredients to your success. And so for all these years, people are like, oh, Draymond benefit off Steph and Clay. And what has Draymond always said? Duh. Of course I do. Like, I'm not going to sit here and act like the way those guys shoot the ball don't benefit me in the way I play. Of course. And then people be like, oh, you're just a role player. Great. Thanks. And so my word to these young guys is, know your role, embrace your role, know who you are, know what a team wants from you, know what they're looking for you to be, and be that. Be just that. Go do your job and take your ass back home. Be that. Because it get dicey in this league and all of a sudden you start getting moved around and then you're on the outside looking in. It happens fast. I've seen it. I've been in for 12 years. Happens fast. So to the young guys out there, keep your eyes open. Know what your role is. Learn your role. Master your role. Become a master in your role. You can never become a star in this league unless you become a master in your role first. So there's that. The Bucks trade for Patrick Beverley for campaigning a 2027 second-round pick going back to the Philadelphia 76ers. I saw a lot of people saying, oh, man, that's a big loss for the Philadelphia 76ers. What that says to me is Joel Embiid not coming back this year. We can get a 2027 second-round pick. We don't believe we can win with Joel out. They're reeling a bit already. I think they've lost 7 of their last 8. And I just don't think they believe that they can do much without Joel Embiid, which is why you saw Daniel House move, which is why you saw Marcus Morris move, which is why you saw Patrick Beverley move. You saw Furkan Korkmaz move, the only person that's demanded a trade 3 times and it was never granted. You now see him move. And so when you look at the moves that the 76ers made, to me, that says, what I take from that is Joel Embiid not coming back this year. It's just what I take from it. I don't know that to be true, but in understanding and watching this league, that's just my opinion of what happens, because those guys are the type of guys that you need if you do want to make a run at a championship. Hence the fact the Bucks traded for Patrick Beverley. And so, in moving away for what the trades mean for the 76ers, for the Bucks, I think the Bucks got better with this trade. I don't think it quite solves all your problems, but I think it definitely solves some of your problems, which is perimeter defense being a huge one. The Bucks traded away Drew Holiday. They traded away Grayson Allen, their 2 best perimeter defenders.
DraftKings, the leader in fantasy sports, just dropped a brand new fantasy game called Pick 6. It's the newest way for you to get in on fantasy football action with DraftKings Sportsbook. Just pick between 2 and 6 NFL players and predict if they're going to have more or less of a stat. For example, a player will have more or less than 100 rushing yards or more than 1 touchdown. Okay? Track your lineup, compete against others for a shot at a huge cash prize. Fantastic. DraftKings Sportsbook, official sports betting partner of the NFL. Sign up now. Takes 90 seconds. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. The code is Collins, C-O-L-I-N. The crown is yours.
In turn, Adrian Griffin got fired because their defense was trash. And so, because their defense was so bad, they were still in second place in the East, but you just can kind of see like they're not going to win with that defense. And so the Bucks shore some things up with Patrick Beverley. Patrick Beverley and Dame has had their run-ins. I know Dame, my dog, very well. Dame is one who stands on business. I saw Dame put out a quote saying, listen, personal issues, he's my teammate now. Like, I'm trying to win. Personal issues are what they are. It's my teammate. I'm trying to win. And I respect that because I think it helps them. I think it helps Dame. I think it helps their entire team with what Patrick Beverley is going to bring to that team. And like you said, anytime a team is in win now mode, a guy like Patrick Beverley is a guy you want on your roster. And as you can see with the trade. So I think that made the Bucks better for certain. The Timberwolves, I think the Timberwolves got better. They brought in Monte Morris from the Pistons for Troy Brown and Shake Milton in the second-round pick. I don't think Shake and Troy had given the Timberwolves pretty much anything at all this year. And so for them to bring in Monte Morris, who's a proven great backup point guard in this league, I thought that was great. I thought that's a great pickup. Now, Monte, it's going to be important for Monte to make sure he rounding the shape. He's been in Detroit all year, hasn't played a ton this year, was out with injury maybe for the first 40 games or so. And he's back as of late. And so I think that's a really good pickup for the Timberwolves. I think it is equally important for Monte to make sure that he goes in there and play the same brand of basketball that he played in Denver, not in Washington. Because Washington wasn't that great for him, just like it's not going that great for Tyus Jones. And so it's going to be great for Monte, who's in a contract year, to go to a team that is winning and show that he's still that great backup point guard that he was in Denver. So many times in this league, we see everybody want to become starting point guards. You've seen it. They trade Monte Morris to Washington. They trade Tyus Jones to Washington. Right? Spencer Dinwiddie, the same thing, all went to Washington to be that starting point guard. And sometimes the illusion of, is he a starting point guard, is he not, is better than actually being a starting point guard. And yet, in saying that, I think, the backup point guard is like a backup quarterback. You got to have a great one if you're going to have a good team. And so backup point guard, you can be a great backup point guard for 15 years and make a great living. And so that's also to the young guys out there. Don't get so caught up in, am I starting, am I backup? Like, yes, there's an obvious difference. There's an obvious difference, obviously. But just know that being a backup point guard in this league, being a great one, ask Jared Jack, sets you up just fine. And being a great backup point guard, ask Steve Kerr, sets you up just fine. And being a great backup point guard in this league. Ask Darren Collison. Sets you up just fine. And so don't get so caught up in, I need to be starting, I need to be doing this. I'm happy as hell to see Monte going to the Timberwolves. Not from a Timberwolves standpoint, because I obviously want to beat the hell out of them. But Monte is a little brother to me from Flint, Michigan. I'm from Saginaw, Michigan. Known Monte since he's probably in middle school. And to see his growth and him become a pro, going to Iowa State, not get recruited by the Michigan schools, really. When I say Michigan, I mean my alma mater, Michigan State, and also University of Michigan. He goes to Iowa State, leads the, I think if I'm not mistaken, the all-time leader in assist to turnover ratio in NCAA history, goes and puts together a great career, and then has nobody believe, had to take the long route into the NBA, figured it out, became the best backup point guard in the NBA. Happy to see him get back to that situation, because winning basketball for Monte is what makes Monte special. So him having the opportunity to play that, it's going to be big for him. It's going to be big for the Timberwolves, although I don't care about it being big for the Timberwolves. I only care about it being big for Monte. And before we get out of here, before we move on from the trade deadline, last but most certainly not least, the one that meant the most to me, the Warriors trading Corey Joseph to the Indiana Pacers for a second-round pick. That trade sucks. And it does suck from like a trade standpoint. It sucks for me as a player who's gotten to build a relationship with Corey Joe, one of the most professional guys I've ever seen. Works every single day. Do to play, pick up with the young guys because he knows he's not playing a ton of minutes, and they get put in the game the same night. Year 13. Again, we're talking about backup point guards, young fellas. Year 13. This guy still play pickup every day. Still get on a treadmill and run after every game. Do all of these things, true professional. And sometimes it's just a numbers game. And that's what, people should understand about this. It's a numbers game sometimes, and sometimes you get squoze out. And unfortunately, that's what happened to Corey Joe. Corey Joe is a huge reason why the chemistry on this team is as good as it is. The energy that he brings every single day. It sucks to see him go, and it's gonna be, he will be missed around here. That's for certain. Hoping to see Corey Joe get picked up by a team and end his career, however many years that is left, on the note that he wants to end his career on, because he deserves that. The way he's been in this league, the professional that he is, a bunch of teams can use a Corey Joe on their team. As can we. Like I said, sometimes it's just a number game and it just doesn't work out. But Corey Joe, thank you for what you brought to this team. The vibes you brought every day. The Boo-Ray games was great. And this ain't no end, man. I got mad love for Corey Joe. Definitely gonna stay in touch with him. Great dude, nothing but love. And obviously also, he a part of the mob. One of the originators of the mob, by the way. One of the first guys to sign with Clutch early on at the inception of Clutch Sports Group. Corey Joe, much love, my dog.